हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम. Namaste to all. Prostrating at the lotus feet of Brahmanishta Sadguru, Shrotriya Sadguru Swami Virajeshwara Saraswati and the entire Guru Parampara on behalf of all of us. Today's discourse on Viveka Chudamani will continue. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namah. Om Mahasaraswatyai Namah. Sadashivasamarambham Sri Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parampara. Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krudau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya Hari Om. Last time we had stopped at the verse number 454, 454, according to this book I am following. And as was told in the last two previous sessions, in detail, the most enigmatic word prarabdha is being discussed, and a detailed account on the word prarabdha, a very important Vedantic word, Acharya is giving out to his Uttamadhikari, Uttama Jijnasu, his disciple, about the prarabdha. And he continues further with other set of shlokas on the same word prarabdha. Always we have to remember to recapitulate, ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧದ ಬಗ್ಗೆಯೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ. ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಶರೀರ ಹುಟ್ಟಿರೋದೇ ತನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧವನ್ನ ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಸುಖ ದುಃಖಗಳನ್ನ ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ನೋವು ನಲಿವುಗಳನ್ನ ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಆಯಾ ಸನ್ನಿವೇಶಗಳು ಪ್ರತಿಕೂಲ ಮತ್ತು ಅನುಕೂಲಕರವಾದಂತಹ ಸನ್ನಿವೇಶಗಳನ್ನ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಮರಣ ಬರೋ ತನಕ ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಶರೀರ ಬಂದಿರೋದು, ಈ ಜನ್ಮ ಬಂದಿರೋದು, ಅದು ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧ. ತನ್ನ ಸಂಚಿತ ಕರ್ಮಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವು ಕರ್ಮಶೇಷಗಳ ಫಲವನ್ನ ಈ ಜನ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಅನುಭವಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಆ ಕರ್ಮ ಸಿದ್ಧಾಂತದ ನಿಯಮದ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಭಗವಂತನ ಅನೂಹ್ಯವಾದ, ಅಗೋಚರವಾದ, ಬುದ್ಧಿಗೆ ಗ್ರಾಹ್ಯವಲ್ಲದಂತಹ, ತರ್ಕಕ್ಕೆ ನೆಲಗದಂತಹ ಕರ್ಮ ಸಿದ್ಧಾಂತದ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಈ ಒಂದು ಜನ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಕರ್ಮಶೇಷ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಸಂಚಿತ ಕರ್ಮಗಳು, ಆ ಮೂಟೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕರ್ಮ ಫಲಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿದ ಕರ್ಮಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರತಿಯಾಗಿ ಫಲವನ್ನ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವುದನ್ನ ಅನುಭವಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅದು ಮೊದಲೇ ನಿಶ್ಚಯ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತದೆ ಜನ್ಮ ಬರುವ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ. ನಾವು ಜನ್ಮವೆತ್ತಿ ಬರುವ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅನುಭವಗಳನ್ನು ಒಟ್ಟುಗೂಡಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧ ಅಂತ ಕರೀಬಹುದು. ಆ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋ ವಿಷಯ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಜ್ಞಾನಾವಸ್ಥೆಯ ನಂತರ, ಆತ್ಮ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರವಾದ ನಂತರ, ತನ್ನ ನಿಜ ಸ್ವರೂಪದ ಅರಿವು ಆಗಿ ಆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನಿಷ್ಠನಾದಂತಹ ಯೋಗಿಗೆ, ಆ ಯತಿ, ಆ ಪರಮ ಜಿಜ್ಞಾಸು, ಉತ್ತಮೋತ್ತಮ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನ ಹೊಂದಿದ ನಂತರ ಆತನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಸಂಚಿತ ಕರ್ಮಗಳು ನಾಶವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಜನ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಮಾಡತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಕರ್ಮಗಳ ಫಲವೂ ನಾಶವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಆಗಾಮಿ ಕರ್ಮಗಳ ಫಲ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಸಂಚಿತ ಕರ್ಮದ ರಾಶಿ ಪೂರ್ತಿಯಾಗಿ ನಾಶವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ದೇಹ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಶರೀರ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಶರೀರ ಪಾತ ಆಗೋ ತನಕ, ಶರೀರಕ್ಕೆ ಮರಣ ಬರೋ ತನಕ ಆ ಶರೀರ ಏನು ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ಬೇಕು, ಆ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧ ಅದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಆ ಶರೀರ ಅನುಭವಿಸಲೇಬೇಕು. ಇದನ್ನೇ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಒತ್ತಿ ಒತ್ತಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳೂ ಸಹ ಅವರ ಶರೀರ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧವನ್ನು ಅನುಭವಿಸುತ್ತದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಅರ್ಥದಲ್ಲಿ. ಜ್ಞಾನಿಗೆ ಸ್ವತಃ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧ ಅನ್ನುವ ನಂಟು ಇಲ್ಲದೇ ಇದ್ದರೂ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧವನ್ನ ಮೀರಿ ಜ್ಞಾನಾವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರವಾಗಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನಿಷ್ಠನಾಗಿ ಆತ್ಮನಿಷ್ಠನಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಸ್ವರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಜ್ಞಾನಿಗೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನಿಜವಾದ ಅರ್ಥದಲ್ಲಿ ಜ್ಞಾನಿಯ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇಲ್ಲವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ಕಾಮಜನಿತವಾದ ಈ ಶರೀರ ಬಂದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಗಳ ಬಳುವಳಿಯಿಂದ ಈ ಶರೀರ ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧವನ್ನ, ಸುಖ ದುಃಖಗಳನ್ನ ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಅವರು ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ ಚೈತನ್ಯರಾಗಿ, ಕೇವಲ ಸಾಕ್ಷೀಭೂತರಾಗಿ ತನ್ನ ಶರೀರದ ಆಗು ಹೋಗುಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ನೋವು ನಲುವಿನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಸಂಕಟಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಜ್ಞಾನಿಯು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಅದನ್ನ ಗಮನಿಸುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆತ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿಯಾಗಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಆತನಿಗೂ ಆ ಶರೀರದ ಸುಖ ದುಃಖಕ್ಕೂ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಸಂಬಂಧವೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇದನ್ನು ಒತ್ತಿ ಒತ್ತಿ ನಾವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಜ್ಞಾನಿಗೆ ಜ್ಞಾನ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಜ್ಞಾನಿಯ ಆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಜವಾದ ಅರ್ಥದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಜ್ಞಾನಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧ ಯಾರಿಗಿದೆ? ಶರೀರಕ್ಕಿದೆ. ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧದಿಂದಲೇ ಜನ್ಮವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಶರೀರ ಇದು ಇರೋ ತನಕ ಅದು ಏನು ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅದು ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಈಗ ನಾವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. So Acharya is making very clear that a jnani, after the enlightenment, he never considers himself to be under the spell of prarabdha. Sanchita karmas have already been destroyed. Karma shesha has been destroyed. And whatever agami karma a jnani performs in the life, even the effect of those karmas, karma phalas, even they will not be there for jnani himself. Whatever karmas he performs, the karma phala will not be there for jnani. Agami karma phala will not be there. Sanchita karma phala completely destroyed. But prarabdha remains. Prarabdha remains for the body. Jnani is always not bothered from his standpoint of view. Jnani will remain as a witness to see that his body, whatever it has to undergo, good or bad effects, good things or bad things, pains or pleasures, Jnani will simply allow his body to undergo the enjoyment or the suffering as per the prarabdha. Jnani will not interfere normally with this prarabdha. Jnani will not interfere in the prarabdha, not only his body, or to the entire world, the other people also. Jnanis will never interfere into the prarabdha of others also, including their own body, because that is the law of karma. The law of karma is immutable. It is so secret and sacred. As per the Ishwariya Sankalpa, in this birth, what has to be suffered, what has to be endured, it has to be endured. Jnani knows. Mahatmans know about the law of karma. So they will never interfere with the law of karma. Never interfere. Now, in this connection, there was a question in this connection. So that the question is very interesting, very important, and very thoughtful. Because always lot of confusion sets in about the word prarabdha. The question is very, very, very thought-provoking. That why jnanis, knowingly well, after sakshatkar, after they have become brahmajnanis, they are beyond the prarabdha also, as Acharya puts it. They are beyond Sanchita karma phala. They are beyond agami karma phala. Hence, they are also beyond their prarabdha karma phala. If that is the case, why Mahatmans, jnanis, allow the prarabdha to interfere with their body? Allow the prarabdha to show its effect on their body. Why? To make this question very clear, a part of the extended question is, when we look at the last stages of the life history of Acharya Shankara Bhagavatpada, who lived only for 32 years in this physical body, around 1200 years ago. Then in the last stages, before he cast off the body, he disappeared himself in the heights of Kedarnath temple area in the Devabhumi of Himalayas. Even Adi Shankaracharya, Shankara Bhagavatpada, being a Mahajnani, being a Mahayogi himself, and being Aparavatar of Shiva himself, Sakshat Shiva Swarupa himself, Sakshat Paramashiva himself, incarnated in the form of Adi Shankara, why did he allow his own body to suffer from Bagandhara Roga, the fistula, severe form of piles? Why did he allow? For the highest state of a jnani, even prarabdha should not be there. If that is the way, then why such cases, even in the case of Adi Shankara, he suffered from? He means he allowed his body to suffer from the pangs of the pain and the suffering, bleeding due to fistula, severe form of piles. Why? Why did he allow? He could have cast off the prarabdha by himself, by his simple sankalpa, by his simple wish. The reason is, that is how the Leela, that is how the divine play occurs. Elsewhere, in his commentary, Adi Shankaracharya himself, Srimad Shankara Bhagavatpada himself has mentioned that the secret of this creation cannot be explained. Why there is suffering, why there is pleasure, why there is pain, cannot be explained, because this is nothing but a magical world, Maya Jagat, Mithya Jagat, like a dream. It's a great illusion which appears to be real, but it is not real. It cannot be explained. All that can be said is this creation itself is a divine sport, he said. Bhagavat Leela Vinoda. Srishti is nothing but, creation is nothing but Bhagavat Leela Vinoda. It is a divine play. A play. Elsewhere, Acharya himself has mentioned. So, now coming back to the question, why did he allow his body to suffer from piles, severe form of fistula leading to the bleeding and severe pain, even while squatting and sitting and defecating? He knew the truth, but he didn't say. One of his disciples, known as Abhinava Gupta, who was well versed in black magic, as we call Vamachara, who was well versed in the Abhicharika Prayogas, as explained in Atharva Veda. The Abhicharika Prayogas come under this heading as black magic in our sense. No, he was well versed in that. He had so many siddhis, all, in sort of a negative way of these black magic siddhis. These powers are meant always to impart, inflict injury and suffering to the others. When he heard about the popularity of Shankara Bhagavatpada, he became restless, that Abhinava Gupta. So he wanted to kill, he wanted to eliminate. So he pretended, he came down, surrendered, and became his disciple, pretended to be disciple, and then he did the prayoga, the black magic, on Adi Shankara himself. Shankaracharya knew this one. The prarabdha of Abhinava Gupta is he had to do this black magic on the body of Shankaracharya out of sheer jealousy and envy. He wanted to kill. So that is how Adi Shankara allowed Abhinavagupta to perform the black magic so that his body suffered from piles or fistula. He never said anything on that outwardly. Whereas later, what happened? Out of the four prominent disciples of Adi Shankara, Shankara Bhagavatpada, Sri Padmapadacharya wondered why our Guru is suffering from fistula with all the medication, with all the treatment. It's not being cured at all. And Acharya seems to be not bothered. And his body is suffering. And these disciples are seeing the Acharya's body suffering with a lot of pain and bleeding. So Padmapadacharya could not control. So with his taposhakti, he underwent into deep meditation. There by his divya drushti, his yogic drushti with yogic power, Padmapadacharya immediately understood that this Acharya, what he is suffering from fistula, is not a natural disease or a prarabdha, but it is imposed by one of the so-called enemy, Abhinavagupta, who has disguised himself as the disciple of Adi Shankara. So he became angry, so much angry. You remember, Sri Padmapadacharya was Sakshat. He was a great upasaka of his Aradhya Deva, Sri Nrsimha, one of the avatars of Lord. So he started chanting Nrsimha mantra with all that feeling that this Abhinavagupta has done the black magic on the body of his Guru. And due to the power of the Nrsimha mantra, what Sri Padmapadacharya rendered sitting alone, the effect of the mantra took itself, then it devoured this Abhinavagupta on the spot. Abhinavagupta, the tantric disciple, who pretended to be a disciple, in reality he was a tantric. He hated Adi Shankaracharya. He wanted to kill Adi Shankaracharya by his black magic, which created the piles or the fistula. He vomited blood, wriggled in pain. With all the severe pain, he died instantaneously. At the same time, this piles or fistula, which was creating havoc in the body of Adi Shankaracharya for so many months, disappeared once for all. So we don't know how the divine play works here, law of karma works here, and why jnanis, even though they don't identify with the body, sometimes, most of the jnanis will not interfere into the prarabdha of not only their body, of the prarabdha of others also, of the entire world. In this example, what is to be noticed? Ultimately, the time for Abhinavagupta to be eliminated had come. So, like a coincidence, his time had come. So, his buddhi was corrupt. He developed animosity and he did the black magic on the body of Shankara Bhagavatpada, and he paid price by his own death for that. So, it is an eye-opener. In the subtle sense, this episode is an eye-opener for all people who perform black magic. See, then also people were there, expert in black magic. Even today also there are people expert in black magic. So ultimately what happens is the people with the power of black magic, when they try to harm innocent people, ultimately they had to pay a price for that. They suffer and die and end up in not heaven, they end up in the hell. And later, they are not born as human beings, they are born in the lowest of the lowest units, like reptiles, birds, mammals, insects, worms, wriggling worms, etc., etc., etc. So that was the point. The answer, I hope, for the question. So we continue here with the verse number 455. Acharya says to his disciple about the realized one, about the jnani, how he looks up, who is not bothered about the prarabdha. In the next sloka, he says the difference between jnani and ajnani. Na tasya mityartha samarthanecha na sangrahat tat jagatopi drushtaha tatrānuvrittir yadi chenmrusharthe na nidraya mukta iti ishyate dhruvam. Na tasya mityartha samarthanecha na sangrahastat jagatopi drushtaha tatrānuvrittir yadi chenmrusharthe na nidraya mukta iti ishyate dhruvam. Iti ishyate dhruvam. Keywords. ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಜ್ಞಾನಿಗೆ ಈ ಮಿಥ್ಯಾ ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ಈ ಸ್ವಪ್ನಪ್ರದವಾಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಅಸತ್ಯವಾದಂತಹ ಈ ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ವಸ್ತುಗಳ ಸಮರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡೋದರಲ್ಲಿ ಆಸೆ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಯಕೆ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ವಸ್ತುಗಳ ಸಂಗ್ರಹ ಮಾಡೋ ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹ ಆತನಿಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಯಕೆ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಮಿಥ್ಯಾ ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮನಸ್ಸಿದ್ರೆ, ಇದು ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ಸತ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಈ ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ವಸ್ತುಗಳ ಸಂಗ್ರಹ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಮನಸ್ಸಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಇದ್ರೆ ಅಂತಹ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಜ್ಞಾನಿಯಲ್ಲ. ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಆತ ನಿದ್ರೆಯಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೂ ಎಚ್ಚೆತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಎಂದು ತಿಳಿಯಲ್ಪಡುತ್ತದೆ, ಇದು ನಿಶ್ಚಯ. ತತ್ರಾನುವೃತ್ತಿರ್ ಯದಿ ಚೇನ್ ಮೃಷಾರ್ಥೆ, ಮೃಷಾರ್ಥೆ ತತ್ರ ಅನುವೃತ್ತಿ ಯದಿ ಚೇತ್ ನ ನಿದ್ರಯಾ ಮುಕ್ತ. ನ ನಿದ್ರಯಾ ಮುಕ್ತ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ he is not yet awakened to reality. He is still at the level of ajnana. He is still at the level of duality ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. So what Acharya says here, the realized one is not at all interested, not at all bothered about affirming the reality of the false objects seen in this life, in this false life, in this jagat, which is mithya, it is illusion. He is not bothered to affirming the reality of the objects, nor is interested to acquire the objects. He is no more interested in this mithya jagat, in this illusionary world, which is like a dream. They are like false objects seen in the dream. He is not bothered. So he never acts upon them. He never reacts upon them. A realized master. A realized. Whereas Acharya says, Tatra anuvarti yadi chet mrusharthe. Whereas if he is still interested, if he is influenced, if he reacts to this world thinking that it is real, if he is interested in acquiring, interested in possessing the objects of the world, which is mrusha, which is mithya, which is unreal, from the highest Advaitic standpoint. But if he is still interested in acquiring, in possessing these objects of the world, then, my dear disciple, remember ತತ್ರ ಅನುವರ್ತಿಯದಿ ಚೇತ್ ಪುರುಷಾರ್ಥೆ ನ ನಿದ್ರಯಾ ಮುಕ್ತಃ ಇತಿ ಇಷ್ಯತೆ ಧ್ರುವಂ. ಆಚಾರ್ಯ concludes. That means, remember, my dear disciple, such a person is not yet awakened. He is still in sleepy mode. He is still sleeping. He is not yet awakened, he says. That means he is not awakened to reality. He is still in duality. He thinks that world is real. He is real. Others are real. Someone is real. So he believes in duality, differences, everything, they exist. He doesn't believe in the Advaita, non-dualistic mode. There is only one Parabrahma Vastu. There is one reality. That is what is called Ishvara or God. That Parabrahma Vastu, Paramatma, is only the one real. All others, what is appearing here as Jagat, is really unreal. He has never come out of that feeling. Still he is sleeping. That is a difference between a realized master and a non-realized master. Difference between a Jnani Mahatma and a Jnani Mahatma. Difference between a Jnani Guru and a Jnani Guru. He continues, Tadvatpare Brahmani Vartamanaha Sadatmana Tishtati Nanyadikshate Smrtiryatha Swapna Vilokitarte Tatha Vidhaprashana Mochanadau. He gives an example and explains. Yatha Swapna Vilokitarte Smritihi Tatha Vidaha Prashana Mochanadau. This is the example. Tadvatpare Brahmani Vartamanaha Sadatmana Tishtati Nanyat Ikshate Smrtiryatha Swapna Vilokitarte Tatha Vidaprashana Vimochanadau. ಸೊ ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು, ಪರತತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಪರಾವರ ವಸ್ತುವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಲೀನವಾಗಿ ಮನಸ್ಸುಳ್ಳಂಥವನು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಭಾವದಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಯು ಸದಾ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನಿಷ್ಠನಾಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ಆತ್ಮನಿಷ್ಠನಾಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ಆತ ಗಮನಿಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ನೋಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆತನ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಚಂಚಲ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಜಗತ್ತನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ ಜಗತ್ತನ್ನ ಅನುಭವಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಚಂಚಲತೆ ಆತನಿಗೆ ಬರೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ? ಜಗತ್ತು ಮಿಥ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆತ ಸದಾ ಕಾಲ ಆತ್ಮತೃಪ್ತನಾಗಿ ಆತ್ಮರತಿಯಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಭಾವದಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ನೋಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಜ್ಞಾನಿ ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಜಗತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟು, ಏನು? ಸ್ವಪ್ನದಲ್ಲಿ ತಾವು ನೋಡಿದಂತಹ ವಿಷಯಗಳ ನೆನಪು ಎಚ್ಚೆತ್ತ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೆಲವು ಸಲ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಕನಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದೆ, ಕನಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೀಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಕನಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನ ಕಂಡೆ, ಕನಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂತಹ ಘಟನೆ ನಡೀತು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಎಚ್ಚೆತ್ತ ಮೇಲೆ ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತು ಕನಸು ಅಂತ. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಓ ಕನಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಹೀಗಾಯಿತು, ನಿನ್ನೆ ರಾತ್ರಿ ಕನಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಕಂಡೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಕನಸು ಅಂತ. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ನೆನಪು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಮೃತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವು ಕನಸಿನ ವಿಚಾರಗಳು ಉಳಿದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಉಳಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಉಳಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತಲ್ಲ. ಕೆಲವು ಸಲ ಉಳಿಯೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ನೆನಪು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಕನಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೀಗೆ ನೋಡದೆ, ಕನಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಥದ್ದು ಕಂಡೆ, ಕನಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಥದ್ದು ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಆ ನೆನಪು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಕನಸಿನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತದೆಯೋ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಕನಸನ್ನ ನೆನಪಿಗೆ ಬರುವ ರೀತಿ, ಆ ಸ್ವಪ್ನ ವಿಚಾರಗಳು ನೆನಪಿಗೆ ಬರೋ ರೀತಿ, ಆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿದನಿಗೆ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಗೆ ತನ್ನ ಶರೀರದ ಊಟ ಮಾಡುವುದಾಗ್ಲಿ, ಬಿಡುವುದಾಗ್ಲಿ, ಶೌಚಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗುವುದಾಗ್ಲಿ, ನೀರು ಕುಡಿಯುವುದಾಗ್ಲಿ, ಮೂತ್ರ ವಿಸರ್ಜನೆ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ಈ ತರಹ ಪ್ರಾಸಂಗಿಕ ದೇಹ ವ್ಯವಹಾರ, ಈ ಶರೀರದ ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಕನಸಿನ ಹಾಗೆ, ಕನಸಿನ ನೆನಪಿನ ಹಾಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನೆನಪಿರುತ್ತದೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಆಸಕ್ತನಾಗಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ಯಾವ ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲೂ ಆಸಕ್ತನಾಗಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ಕೆಲವು ಮುಖ್ಯ ವಿಷಯಗಳು ಕನಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡ ಹಾಗೆ ಆತನ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಊಟ ಮಾಡುವುದು, ಬಿಡುವುದು, ಮೂತ್ರ ವಿಸರ್ಜನೆ, ಮಲ ವಿಸರ್ಜನೆ, ನಿದ್ರೆ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಶರೀರಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟ ವಿಷಯ ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ಜ್ಞಾನಿಗೆ ನೆನಪು ಇದ್ದ ಹಾಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ವಿತ್ ಅನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ವಾಟ್ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಸೇಸ್, ತದ್ವತ್ಪರೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣಿ ವರ್ತಮಾನಃ ಸದಾತ್ಮನ ತಿಷ್ಠತಿ ನಾನ್ಯತ್ ಈಕ್ಷತೆ. ನಾನ್ಯತ್ ಈಕ್ಷತೆ. ಎ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿ, ಎ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿದ, ಎ ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿ immersed in Parabrahma, Tattva, Paravara. An Atmajnani who is always Brahmanist, who always remains steadfast in that feeling of Brahman, Brahmahakara Vritti. I am that Brahman only, that feeling is always set. So for such a Brahmajnani who is Atmanishtha, who is a Brahmanishtha, who is always, is ever in tune with his own Atma, Swarupa, he sees nothing else in the world, though, as repeatedly said, Jnani lives in the world with others, the people around him. The world appears to him. He lives in the world out of Maya, which is created. He knows it is nothing but mithya, but he is living in the world. His body, he means his body is living in the world. His sharira is living in the world with all the five senses. So even though he is living in the world, he is observing the world, experiencing the world, interacting with the people, in other words, reacting with the people, performing his daily routine bodily functions, just like you remember the dream sequence, like a dream, he performs just like the memory of the dream may persist for some time. The jnani will remember, and his reactions of eating and defecation, urination, everything, bodily functions go on automatically, just like a dream sequence for him. His body functions, his reactions to the people, his interaction with the people, everything is like a dream. He knows that it is mithya. Just like we remember sometimes what happened in my dream yesterday night, and we explain that to our people, to our kith and kin, to the known people, to our friends, to our better half, to the husband, to the wife, that I had a dream yesterday. In the dream, I saw this, I saw that, I did this, I did that, something happened to me like that. We know that it was a dream. We know it was not real, but still we remember. The memory persists. Like that, Acharya says, Smrutiryatha swapna vilokitarthe tatha vidaha rashana mochanadau. Vidaha, Brahmajnani. Vidaha means Brahmajnani. Tatha vidaha rashana mochanadau. Just like you recollect dream sequence, a Brahmajnani also behaves in the world. Defecation, urination, eating, sleeping, drinking, all these things his body performs like any other human body. Like others, he will also sleep. Like others, he will also eat because his body is hungry. Like others, he will also drink water. Like others, he will also urinate. Like others, he will also defecate, discharge the undigested food. No, Acharya is why he is silly. All these things, because we have to remember why he is making it very clear. A Brahmajnani, the moment a jnana dawns in, please don't be under the illusion that he is something, a superhuman being, a superman, something, an alien, extraterrestrial, out of the world. A jnani doesn't show off. His body is same. He looks like you and me. The same body, same physical body, same sharira. He is not a superhuman being from your point of view. So whatever you do, basic functions, basic essential functions of the body, like eating and expulsion, eating and throwing out. That's what Acharya says. Rashana mochanadau. eating and expulsion, whether it is urine or fecal matter, jnani does. His body is like your own body, made up of 5 basic elements. His body is not different, same human body. So whatever your human body performs the functions, basic functions, his body also has to perform. If you remain without water for 1 week or food, what happens? You try and see yourself. Same thing will happen to the body of a jnani also if he says, I will not eat, I will not drink, I will not defecate, I will not urinate. Is it possible? These are all natural, involuntary functions of the body. Now you cannot say, I will not do any respiration now for 1 hour. Respiration is going on. When you eat, you cannot order your food. When you gulp the food, you cannot order your mind, body, to see that the food remains in the gullet here. It should not go down. You have swallowed the food. Let it remain here in the gullet, in the pharynx. You cannot order. It is an involuntary function of the esophagus. The moment the food enters into the esophagus here, in the gullet region, what happens? Involuntary contraction, expansion of your muscles, circular and longitudinal muscles of the esophageal wall. Now, rhythmically they start beating and they push the food downwards. One-way journey, always down, always down. So the food is pushed systematically into your stomach. The stomach churns, contraction, expansion of the muscles of the stomach, and it will push your food into the small intestine. The small intestine contraction, expansion will push the food into the large intestine. And finally, whatever leftover food undigested in that process of nearly 2 hours, 2.5 hours, or sometimes 3 hours of duration, undigested food accumulates in the last part of the large intestine called colon. And finally, body will give a signal, then you have to defecate. You have to throw out, expulge undigested food. It happens automatically. This is all peristaltic movement, as it is called in biology, in medical science. Can you stop that? By sitting yourself, no, let the food remain in my stomach. No, let the food remain in my small intestine. No, let it remain in this large intestine. No, let it remain in the colon. Let there be no defecation. Let there be no urination. Can we do that? Can we decide? They are all involuntary functions, bodily functions. Medical science calls it as involuntary functions, controlled by sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous impulses. But in spiritual line, we say it's all divine sankalpa. The body is made by the divine law. Now you cannot control it. So same thing with the body of a jnani. Jnani will not interfere into the day-to-day affairs of the body and also to the world. That is why all Mahatmas make it a point to declare, not all the time, to everyone, to the near and dear ones. My Gurudev used to tell me personally that a jnani will never interfere with the prarabdha of anybody, including his own disciple. A real Mahatman will not interfere into the prarabdha of any person, though he is capable of. Unless there is a divine sankalpa, the divine sankalpa of the God, and if the sankalpa is such that the person has to be cured from any infallible disease, in the prarabdha of the person, if there is a cure is there at the appropriate time, jnani will bless. So for others, onlookers, it looks sometimes that jnani has done a miraculous, has got siddhi or power, he has cured a disciple. It is not like that. They will not take law into their hands. Jnanis will not interfere with the law of karma. My Gurudev used to tell. Unless otherwise, in exceptional cases, it happens naturally by the divine ordained sankalpa. If a miracle occurs, it is not that a jnani personally is interested. It happens by the divine sankalpa, Ishwariya sankalpa. My Gurudev is. Though he has never professed, our Gurudev, personally he told me that all the siddhis are at his foot, at the base of the foot. If he wanted, he could have used those siddhis, the miraculous powers, anytime he would have exhibited to the world. But he never wanted. He was never after the siddhis. Instead of that, the miraculous powers, humergetic powers, they came and fell at his feet. He told me, these are the words. All these powers begged me and fell at my feet. I was not bothered. But personally, I know, in some cases, I will not go into the details, how the miraculous, divine, compassionate, merciful help of Gurudev in the form of miraculous power has done real miracles in the life of so many disciples. Neither they were forbidden to explain or to publicize those miraculous help they received from Gurudev, nor Gurudev anytime explained. But we know that by person-to-person contact, we know that. So real Mahatmas are not bothered about, casting off the prarabdha of their own body or the prarabdha of anybody else. Now Acharya continues. He makes now in the next sloka, short. He makes it very clear so that we understand about the nature of prarabdha tagged on to the body, to sharira, the physical body. Karmana nirmito deha prarabdham tasya kalpyata na anaderatmano yuktam naivatma karma nirmitaha. Karmana nirmito deha prarabdham tasya kalpyata na anade atmano yuktam naivatma karma nirmitaha. Keywords. Na eva atma karma nirmitaha. This atma is not karma nirmita. It is not fashioned out of karmas. That is the keyword. ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಈ ಶರೀರ ದೇಹ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕರ್ಮ ಫಲದಿಂದ ನಿರ್ಮಿತ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಕರ್ಮ ಫಲವನ್ನ ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧವನ್ನ ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿರೋ ಶರೀರ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಈ ಶರೀರ ಕರ್ಮದಿಂದ ನಿರ್ಮಿತವಾಗಿದೆ, ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಬಹುದು. ಕರ್ಮಣ ನಿರ್ಮಿತೋ ದೇಹ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧಂ ತಸ್ಯ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧಂ ಕಲ್ಪ್ಯತಾಂ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಒಪ್ಪೋಣ. ಯಾಕೆ? ದೇಹ ಬಂದಿರೋದೇ ಕರ್ಮಫಲ ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ಕರ್ಮದಿಂದ ಈ ಶರೀರ ನಿರ್ಮಿತ ಆಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧ ಇದೆ, ಒಪ್ಪೋಣ. ಆದರೆ ಅನಾದಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ, ಹುಟ್ಟು ಸಾವು ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ, ಸರ್ವದಾ ಸದಾಕಾಲ ನಿತ್ಯ ಬುದ್ಧ ಶುದ್ಧ ಮುಕ್ತನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಒಂದೇ ಏಕಮೇವ ಅದ್ವಿತೀಯ ವಸ್ತುವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಆತ್ಮವಸ್ತುವಿಗೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಸ್ತುವಿಗೆ, ಆತ್ಮನಿಗೆ, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಸರಿ? ಅದು ಯುಕ್ತ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಯುಕ್ತ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಆತ್ಮ, ಈ ಪ್ರತ್ಯೇಗಾತ್ಮ, ಈ ಪರಮ ಚೈತನ್ಯ ಕರ್ಮದಿಂದ ನಿರ್ಮಿತ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಶರೀರ ಬಂದಿರೋದು ಕರ್ಮದಿಂದ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧ ಇದೆ. ಆತ್ಮನಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ? ಕರ್ಮದಿಂದ ಬಂದಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ. ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆತ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ? ಆತ್ಮ ಇದ್ದಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ಇದ್ದಾನಲ್ಲ. ಅನಾದಿ ಕಾಲದಿಂದ ಹುಟ್ಟು ಸಾವುಗಳು ಇಲ್ಲದೆ, ಮರಣ ಜನನ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ, ಯಥಾವತ್ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಕಾಶಮಾನವಾಗಿ, ದೇದೀಪ್ಯಮಾನವಾಗಿ ಆತ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಏಕಮೇವ ಅದ್ವಿತೀಯ ವಸ್ತುವಾಗಿ ಕಂಗೊಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನಲ್ಲ. ಪರಮ ಆತ್ಮಸ್ವರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಆತ್ಮನಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧ? ಇದು ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ಸೊ ಸಿಂಪಲ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಸೇಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಕರ್ಮಣ ನಿರ್ಮಿತೋ ದೇಹ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧಂ ತಸ್ಯ ಕಲ್ಪ್ಯತಾಂ. Look, my dear disciple, since the body is fashioned out of karmas during birth, that means this body has appeared, this sharira appeared due to karmas, due to actions performed in the previous. So you can say prarabdha may be imagined to it. So you can fix the prarabdha to the body, to the sharira, because it has been produced due to the effect of karmas. The birth of the body is due to the effect of karmas. Karmana nirmito deha prarabdham tasya kalpyatam. But na anade atmano yuktam, na anade atmanah yuktam, naivatma karma nirmita. But can you fix the prarabdha to the atma, pratyagatma, parama chaitanya, supreme consciousness, this brahma padartha, this parabrahma vastu, both atma and paramatma, parabrahma vastu, they're all one and the same. So Acharya puts the question, can you in the same breath say that there is a prarabdha for the atma also? Atma is not fashioned out of karma. Atma is eternally present without birth and death. It is anadi, it is beginningless. What is beginningless? What is beyond time, space and continuum? What is beyond kala, desha and avastha? What is kalatita, deshatita, avasthatita? What is aja and amara? How can you say it has got prarabdha? It is not fashioned out of karmas at all. So atma is not fashioned out of karma. Your body is fashioned out of karma. So you can say there is prarabdha for the body, but you cannot say prarabdha is there for atma. Correct? This is the question. Simple point, Acharya. And he continues the same point. Next. Ajo nityah shashvata iti brute shruti amoghavaak. Ajo nityah shashvata iti brute shruti amoghavaak. Tadatmana tishthato asya kuta prarabdha kalpana. He puts a question in the second. In the second charana, there is a question by Acharya. Ajo nityah shashvatah iti brute shruti amoghavaak. Tadatmana tishthato asya kuta prarabdha kalpana. ಈ ಆತ್ಮನು, ಈ ಆತ್ಮವಸ್ತು, ಈ ಪ್ರತ್ಯೇಗಾತ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು ನಿತ್ಯ ಶಾಶ್ವತನಾಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಜನ್ಮರಹಿತನಾಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಅಮೋಘವಾದಂತಹ ಶ್ರುತಿ ವಚನ ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಉಪನಿಷತ್ ವಚನ ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಉಪನಿಷತ್ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಆತ್ಮ ನಿತ್ಯ ಮತ್ತು ಶಾಶ್ವತ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ ವಚನ, ಶ್ರುತಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ಶ್ರುತಿಯೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಆತ್ಮಸ್ವರೂಪದಿಂದ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಯೋಗಿಗೆ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಗೆ, ಆತ್ಮರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ನಿಷ್ಠನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಗೆ, ಆತ್ಮನಿಷ್ಠನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಯೋಗಿಗೆ, ಆತ್ಮಭಾವದಲ್ಲೇ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಯೋಗಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧದ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಹೇಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತದೆ? ತದಾತ್ಮನೋ ತಿಷ್ಠತೋ ಅಸ್ಯ ತಿಷ್ಠತಿ ಅಸ್ಯ ಕುತ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧ ಕಲ್ಪನಾ. ಆಚಾರ್ಯರ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ. ಇದರ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು ಅಂತ, ಕಠೋಪನಿಷತ್ತಿನ ಆ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ ವಾಕ್ಯದ ಮೊದಲ ಎರಡು ಭಾಗ, ಎರಡು ಪದಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಳಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಮೊದಲನೇ ಚರಣದಲ್ಲಿ. ಅಜೋ ನಿತ್ಯ ಶಾಶ್ವತ ಇತಿ ಶ್ರುತಿ ಬ್ರೂತೆ. ಆ ಕಠೋಪನಿಷತ್ತಿನ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ವಚನ ಏನು ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಆ ಮಹಾವಚನ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಕಠೋಪನಿಷತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಜೋ ನಿತ್ಯ ಶಾಶ್ವತೋಯಂ ಪುರಾಣ ನ ಹನ್ಯತೆ ಅನ್ಯಮಾನೇ ಶರೀರೇ. ಇದು ಕಠೋಪನಿಷತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋದು. Upanishad Vachana, Mahavakya. Ajo nitya shashvatoyam purana na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Ayam andre ಈ ಆತ್ಮನು, ಈ ಪ್ರತ್ಯೇಕಾತ್ಮನು ಈ ದೇಹದ ಒಳಗೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಮಹಾಜ್ಯೋತಿ ಸ್ವರೂಪನಾಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಚೈತನ್ಯ ಯುಕ್ತನಾಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಆತ್ಮನು ಅಜಃ ನಿತ್ಯ ಪುರಾಣಃ. ಆತ ಹುಟ್ಟು ಸಾವು ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹವನು, ಜನ್ಮರಹಿತನಾಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಶಾಶ್ವತನಾಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಪುರಾಣ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅನಾದಿ ಕಾಲದಿಂದ ಆತ್ಮನು ಆತ್ಮನಾಗಿ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಕಂಗೊಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ನ ಹನ್ಯತೆ ಹನ್ಯಮಾನೆ ಶರೀರೆ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಕಠೋಪನಿಷತ್. ಹನ್ಯಮಾನೆ ಶರೀರೇ ಅಪಿ ನ ಹನ್ಯತೆ. ಈ ಶರೀರವನ್ನು ತುಂಡು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೂ ಸಹ, ಈ ಶರೀರವನ್ನು ಕೊಂದರೂ ಸಹ, ಈ ಶರೀರವನ್ನು ಕತ್ತರಿಸಿದರೂ ಸಹ ಶರೀರದ ಒಳಗೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆತ್ಮ ಎಂದೂ ತುಂಡಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಕತ್ತರಿಸಲ್ಪಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಶರೀರಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾವಿರಬಹುದು, ಆತ್ಮನಿಗೆ ಸಾವಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದೇ ಅರ್ಥದಲ್ಲಿ, ಈ ಕಠೋಪನಿಷತ್ ಅರ್ಥದಲ್ಲೇ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ ಪ್ರಸಿದ್ಧವಾದ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆಯ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಉಪದೇಶ 2ನೇ ಅಧ್ಯಾಯದಲ್ಲಿ. ಇದೇ ಅರ್ಥ, ಇದೇ ಭಾವಾರ್ಥ, ಇದೇ ಮೂಲ ಅರ್ಥ. ನೈನಂ ಛಿಂದಂತೆ ಶಸ್ತ್ರಾಣಿ ನೈನಂ ದಹತಿ ಪಾವಕಃ ನ ಕ್ಲೇದಯನ್ ವ್ಯಾಪ್ಯೋ ನ ಶೋಷಯತಿ ಮಾರುತಃ. ಈ ಆತ್ಮನನ್ನ ಯಾವ ಅಸ್ತ್ರಗಳನ್ನ ಕತ್ತರಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯವಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವ ಬೆಂಕಿಯಿಂದ ಸುಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯವಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವ ನೀರಿನಿಂದ ಇದನ್ನು ಮುಳುಗಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯವಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವುದೇ ವಾಯು ಪ್ರಕೋಪದಿಂದ ಇದನ್ನ ಒಣಗಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಹಾರಾಡಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯವಿಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಭಗವಂತ. ಅದೇ ಅರ್ಥ ಕಠೋಪನಿಷತ್. ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ in the first line, ajo nitya shashvata iti brute shruti amogava. So Acharya is using a part of the Mahavachana of Kathopanishad here in the first line. The Kathopanishad, full Mahavakya, the Mahavachana is ajo nitya shashvatoyam puranah na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Even if the body is, the sharira is cut off, it is cut into pieces, the Atma is never cut. Atma never dies, even if the body dies. Because it is Ajaha, Nityaha, Shashvataha, Puranaha. It is beginningless, it is birthless, it is present always, Nityaha, Shashvataha. It is ever present, always existing. Puranaha, ancient, from time immemorial. You can't imagine from when Atma is existing, when Brahma Padartha is existing. Here Atma and Parabrahma Vastu are one and the same. Atma and Parabrahma Vastu one and the same. Brahma Padartha and Atma Padartha one and the same. Please remember. So Acharya is using that Kathopanishad. Ajo nitya shashvata iti brote shrutiramo tadatmana tishthato asya kuta prarabdha kalpana. So, when the yogi, when a Brahmajnani is always immersed in Atma Bhava, Brahma Bhava, so where is Prarabdha to such a Jnani? Where is Prarabdha to the Jnani Acharyas? Because Atma is unborn, eternal, beyond. Yogi, Atmajnani, always remains in Brahmakara Vritti. He always remains in Brahma Bhava. He is always Brahmanishtha. He is always Atmanishtha. So, for a realized master, a enlightened master, who is always Atmanishtha, who is always Brahmanishtha, where is Prarabdha for him? Acharya is saying. So, these are the points to remember correctly. So, for a Jnani, there is no Prarabdha. Please understand these words of Acharya. sometimes our mind, gets confused because of our way of understanding, because we are ajnanis, because we are not realized. We are yet to realize. We are yet to complete our sadhana by the grace of the Guru. We are yet to undergo the vasanakshaya. We are yet to give up our desires in life. We are yet to cast off the ego, ahankara, sharirabhimana. The ego factor is still there. As long as ahankara is there, where is realizing? Lot of work, lot of things are there, lot of steps we have to take in the sadhana by the grace of the Guru. When all these obstacles are there, impediments are there, we may not understand what Acharya is. From the point of a jnani, a yogi, yati, a sage who is a brahmajnani, who is atmanishtha, who is a brahmanishtha. Where is prarabdha for him? Acharya says. Tadatmana tishthato asya asya kuta prarabdha kalpana. How can you imagine the prarabdha for such a yogi, for such a jnani? For him there is no prarabdha. Please, I beseech you, follow this verse very carefully. Listen to these words, Acharya. How can you imagine prarabdha to Acharya says, look, my dear, define prarabdha to an enlightened soul, enlightened master, a liberated soul. So he's already liberated by still living in the body. He never considers himself as a body any time, anymore. Before liberation, his ahankara was there, ego was there. I am the body, I am so and so, status was there. He was somebody. So during the culmination of sadhana, spiritual sadhana, the spiritual endeavor, by the grace of the Guru, as shown, the way shown by the Guru, by totally surrendering and following the dictates of the Guru, Sadguru, when he finally rises to the pulpit of the ultimate pinnacle of spiritual sadhana mode, he becomes realized by the grace of self, by the grace of the Atma, by the grace of the Paramatma. See, the final beatification, culmination of the sadhana is not under your control. It happens by itself, by the grace of God or by the grace of Sadguru. So when it happens, so where is prarabdha to him? He never identifies with the body. For him, there is no prarabdha. Why? Remember the word. He is Atma Surupa. Can you imagine prarabdha for the Atma, to the Brahma Padartha, to God, to Paramatma, to Ishvara, whatever words? Can you imagine there is a prarabdha to Ishvara? Can you imagine there is a prarabdha to the Atma? Can you imagine there is a prarabdha to the Brahma, Parabrahma Vastu, Paramatma Vastu? No. Prarabdha is there for the body. Prarabdha is there to the sharir. What is that prarabdha? The body has to undergo ups and downs, good and bad effects, pains and pleasures, good things and bad things, hunger and thirst, elevated life, rich life, or the poorest of the poor. All these circumstances in which the body has to live and undergo, that is prarabdha. And diseases, devouring, suffering, mental suffering, physical suffering due to prarabdha. That is for the body, not to the Atma. And yogi is Atma Sarup. The sage is Atma Sarup. He is liberated already while still living in the body. That's why it's called Jivan Mukta, as Acharya earlier called. A person who is liberated while still living in the body is Jivan Mukta. When the body falls, it's called Videha Mukta. Acharya said earlier in this Viveka, Chudamani. So for him there is no prarabdha. Why? He is Atma Sarupa. So how can you imagine prarabdha to him? Acharya says, Tadatmana tishtati asya uta prarabdha kalpana. Tadatmana tishtataha asya utaha prarabdha kalpana. How can you imagine prarabdha to him? Because he is Atmaswarupa himself. So by the Sankalpa, Guru Sankalpa, I am stopping here at the shloka number 458 today. Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama 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 Hari Om Tat Satvam Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya.
Hari Om sir. Akhanda Dhanyavad. Thank you.